for joining us, guys. We've got the directors of both films here, René and Melissa. Please come down for a Q&A. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
It's René, director of Martin's Pink Pickle.
Hello.
And Melissa Flagg, who directed Land of the Sun. Two local films. Both, I thought it was really incredible to watch them. They were both shot in BC. Yours was very much a BC film, but you managed to turn the Kootenays into Afghanistan.
Yeah, Kamloops.
Yeah. You guys want to talk a little bit about that experience and how the locations sort of informed your stories?
Yeah, actually, I think when I set out to do projects, I very much look at my resources, especially at these budget levels. You kind of have to sort of see what locations you can grab and what people you can steal and stuff like that. So in thinking out the story and in working through it with Curtis, who's the screenwriter, who I think is here, or maybe not. There he is right there. You know, it was very helpful to be grounded in the actual geography, so that sort of hope to Vancouver trip. It helped to give it, I think, a reasonable and realistic timeline, and it just helped us ground the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me also it was the geography and the contrast between the two characters of the Kate and the Shale characters. So we really wanted to include some of the sort of desert landscape in the film, and just with the feeling of, and her landscape was more of the coastal kind of, it was supposed to be more wet and but we ended up with sunny days. But yeah, so just I really wanted that contrast, and so I thought a lot about those when I was writing.
Yeah, ironically named Hope, I guess.
Yes.
Both of the films feature people who are sort of having difficult relationships. Did you both? I know that Curtis wrote Martin's Pink Pickle. Melissa, you wrote Land of the Sun, correct? How did you both work on the story? They're both really interesting stories, well written.
Yeah, Curtis and I worked on it together, but it's Curtis's script and you know, his characters and his world, and you know, I did what I could to help along.
That's great.
Yeah, I wrote Land of the Sun, and at the time was really interested in, a lot of my friends were in long distance relationships, and so I became really interested in what happens when we spend so much time apart, and sort of the longing and just how it forces us to go on with our own lives separate, and so that's kind of what informed that relationship.
I will say that you know, there are, you know, I've had people in my lives who sort of settled for security instead of happiness, and it's really pissed me off. And, you know, you see people you care about, and you want a lot for them, you want the best for them, and you want them to sort of wake up from that trance of their shitty lives, and you know, that's kind of what Martin is, you know. So you know, it's sort of, he unshackles himself from that lifeline, and I guess you know, there's some people hopefully who watch this movie and maybe unshackle themselves as well.
Came across really well. Can you tell me a little bit about the process of making the movie? Any challenges you faced? Anything like that?
Oh God, everything was challenging. God, everything was challenging. I think the hardest, I mean, obviously, you know, like a lot of the films here and in other festivals, we did this in very little time. I think we did it in about 2 weeks. We had a tiny crew of very awesome, dedicated people, and a lot of them are here tonight. You know, it's a passion project, and you know, you can only push people so much when they're working for little or nothing. And so it's finding that balance, I think, of really pushing to get what you need, but also not killing the people that you're relying on. I think that was the hardest thing.
Yeah, I can identify with just, you know, a lot of people giving their time and not getting paid for it. So, but it was a long process, and we had sort of little stops and starts along the way. But I think the most amazing thing was that, you know, I couldn't have done it without the other people that were involved, and it seemed like, even though it you know, it took 3.5 years from writing it to finishing it, it seemed like every time I asked for help was there, and it made it great to work on. Yeah.
Yeah. I noticed a bit of crew crossover in your credits there, so it's amazing how BC film community really comes together and helps each other out. Yeah. And it took 3.5 years for yours. How about you, René?
4.
4 years. Okay.
Yeah, so.
Wow.
Yeah, it's tough. And that's another hard part is finishing. Actually, that's a really hard part is finishing because, you know, sometimes you think when you've wrapped it and you've got it all in the can, it's like, all right, the tough part's over, but you have to keep the momentum up, and that gets harder and harder as sort of you get lonelier and lonelier, and it's just you and the footage. So that's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you had lots of people asking you about it, and they're all here tonight. Probably. Yeah. Any questions from the crowd? Did I see a hand over there? No? Ah, yes, you.
Yeah, the 3 central performances were really good. I mean, it was as though the part was written for them, so that's my question. Were these people in mind?
Thank you. The only person I had in mind was the lead, Quincy, whom I worked with on my last feature. A good friend of mine whom I worked with and known for years. And he's talented. And the other 2 are just talented, just plain old talent. Alexis is here, I think, back in there. She played Jen. I think she's brilliant. Yeah, no, they're just very, you know, they're courageous because we threw them a lot of curveballs to keep them on their feet and to elicit natural performances. And I think some people might cower. You know, when you go in with a game plan, you throw a curveball, some people freak out, but they rose to the occasion.
You certainly did. Yeah, how about you?
Oh,
Your
just
casting.
casting, yeah. I mean, it was a pretty amazing process. We knew right away when Sebastian came in, who played Shale, and then Tara. I had the feeling that she was just going to be really powerful, and she was wonderful to work with. So, yeah, I was really lucky.
We've got one up there.
I've just, both beautiful films, and I really enjoyed both of them, if you want to say that. One question for Melissa is, I know you wrote it yourself, but did you do some research or talk to both servicemen and or their spouses at home to get a sense of that separation and what goes on?
Yeah, I did have a friend who had been on tour in Afghanistan, and who I met through my brother, who's in the Navy Reserves, and his name is Eric, and he was a full-time in the Navy, and so we talked quite a bit. I did, you know, several interviews just about what it was like over there and what communication was like, and then and like I said before, at the time I was talking to a lot of my friends in long distance relationships, and sort of as they were going through it. So
I have kind of a specific question for René. Your film is clearly about 2 people coming of age in a way, and a lot about their relationship. I did notice that you never used the word abortion. You said words like taking care of it. Was that a conscious decision, or was that something
That's a
just
good
to
question.
keep it away from more focused on the central story?
Yeah, no, it's been a while, so let me think about that. I'm trying to think about all the footage that was cut out if we use that word abortion at all. And I don't think, Sarah, did we use that word? I don't think we did. And I think it's probably because it's distracting. You know, then it suddenly becomes a movie about abortion, which it's not. And I think that was the thinking.
Yeah, I thought that came across pretty well. Just wanted to ask. Yeah, any other questions in here? Yeah, any last words?
Just I want to say thank you because there are a lot of crew and cast and supporters and investors and donors and angels and a lot of great people here tonight. So thank you to everyone.
I'm just so happy that everybody's here and these films are being seen, and it's really exciting. I mean, the best thing is to make a film and have it be seen, so thank you.
Thank you.